This new technology might mean that the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra doesn't need the S Pen anymore. No more S Pen. Fans are understandably concerned about the future of the S Pen now that Samsung has removed its Bluetooth functions from the S25 Ultra. There are growing speculations that future Ultra models may not include a built-in slot for the S Pen, and instead, Samsung might sell the stylus separately. As the release date for the Samsung S25 Ultra approaches, rumors about its successor, the Galaxy S26 Ultra, are circulating more rapidly. The latest leak comes from Panda Flash Pro on X, suggesting that Samsung could eliminate certain functionalities of the S Pen to make room for new charging technology. They tweeted, "We're ready to use the new S Pen tech in the Ultra." Specifically, they predict that Samsung will remove the S Pen digitizer. Some believe this change would allow the company to integrate a Qi 2 magnetic ring into the phone for enhanced charging capabilities and accessories. Additionally, as Samsung continually strives to create the thinnest phones on the market, this modification could enable them to make the S26 Ultra slimmer. For example, the current S25 Ultra is Qi2 ready, meaning it can utilize magnetic covers, but it lacks the magnetic rings found in the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If Samsung does add magnets to the S26 Ultra, it would feature a MagSafe-like functionality similar to Apple's. In response to comments, Panda Flash stated that Samsung might employ comparable innovation for the S Pen that may be in the Z Fold 7. Reportedly, Samsung has revamped the S Pen with new tech and a wider form factor. The Z Fold 7 still won't have an inbuilt holder for the S Pen and needs a dedicated carrying case. It's not clear from this report whether or not the S26 Ultra will lose its built-in S Pen holder, though Panda Flash does indicate that we won't be seeing a comeback of the Bluetooth-capable S Pen. There are a lot of varied speculations surrounding the S Pen, with frequent Samsung leaker Jukan Choi writing lately that Samsung could eliminate the S Pen totally after the Galaxy S27 series. Assuming the S Pen rumors are genuine, we'll get our first glimpse at it next month during the annual Summer Galaxy Unpacked event, when Samsung's future foldables will be introduced. After that, Samsung normally launches its primary flagship S series line in January, which is when we're expected to see the S26 family next year. The Samsung S26 Ultra may continue the trend of using a 5000 mAh battery next year. The company might retain the same battery as the S20 Ultra, which was released in 2020, potentially marking the seventh model with no increase in capacity. Tipster Panda Flash Pro believes that Samsung has not yet finalized the battery specifications for the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Even if the company considers increasing the battery capacity, it is unlikely to exceed the 5400 mAh mark, which would represent only an 8% increase. In recent years, Chinese smartphone manufacturers have aggressively increased battery capacities in their flagship devices. For instance, OnePlus recently announced the compact OnePlus 13 flagship, which boasts a 5850 mAh battery in a small form factor. Samsung's competitors are also increasingly adopting next-generation battery technology, while the company itself remains reliant on older lithium-ion solutions. Some manufacturers based in China have showcased phones utilizing an enhanced version of silicon-carbon technology. In 2020, Samsung introduced the Galaxy S20 Ultra with a 5000 mAh battery. Since then, subsequent models have maintained the same capacity. Although Samsung has improved battery life through optimization, an increase in milliamps is also necessary. Next-generation CPUs will demand more power due to enhanced resources. The energy requirements of AI and Gen AI capabilities make it essential for phone manufacturers to provide real battery improvements rather than relying solely on software optimizations. Concerns also extend to charging speeds. The S25 Ultra supports fast charging of up to 45 watt, which is not particularly fast compared to competitors. Some flagship devices offer over 100 watt wired fast charging. The S25 Edge exemplifies Samsung's reluctance to update battery specifications. This smaller phone features a 3900 mAh capacity, which has drawn significant criticism and is a major factor contributing to its poor sales, in addition to the absence of a telephoto camera. Currently, the rumor that the S26 Ultra will use a 5000 mAh battery seems far-fetched. Since Samsung has not finalized the capacity, there remains a slim possibility of seeing something greater than what past flagships have offered. Regulatory certifications would provide clearer insights into the device's specifications. As for the camera, waiting for camera advances with the S26 Ultra. You could be disappointed. Samsung is expected to utilize most camera hardware from the S25 Ultra and the S26 Ultra. A recent leak hints to missing camera enhancements in the next several flagship models from Samsung. The input is reinforced by realistic facts in which keeping to the hallmark design profile stays at the top, along with cutting thickness. Following the leak from a reputable source, there's nothing else to anticipate from Samsung with its next flagship. The work could be at its early stage internally, but the supporting factors signal a more aggressive AI hype in the cards. Here's the probable S26 Ultra camera setup. For the main camera, Samsung could repurpose the ISOCELL HP2 image sensor in the S26 Ultra. This 200 megapixel camera was initially utilized in the S23 Ultra. The identical product with under-the-hood upgrades was subsequently utilized in the S24 Ultra and the S25 Ultra. As the ultra-wide camera is concerned, Samsung could upscale the ultra-wide picture capabilities of the S25 Ultra with an enhanced 50 megapixel sensor. There's no need to alter this part, and the same sensor is virtually expected to be preserved in the S26 Ultra next year. For the telephoto camera, everyone will anticipate a new telephoto with the S25 Ultra, but Samsung didn't do so. Since to the newest leak, the S26 Ultra may not feature the 200 megapixel ISOCELL HP9 telephoto camera, since it would impact the hallmark design language and sleekness. Now the periscope camera, Samsung continued the 50 megapixel periscope lens on the S25 Ultra after originally unveiling it with the S24 Ultra. The corporation could be contemplating continuing it one more time with additional tweaks and stronger AI integration. Next, the S26 2nm Snapdragon CPU might provide positive news for Samsung. The Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 processor for the S26 series might be developed by Samsung Foundry. While the S25 range only utilized the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy processor internationally, the S26 series might employ a combination of Exynos 2600 and Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 for Galaxy chips. Interestingly, both those chips are claimed to be produced using Samsung Foundry with 2nm technology, which is wonderful news for the South Korean tech titan. The Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 processor may come in two varieties, with the S26 potentially featuring the Samsung-made version. According to a report from Business Post Korea, Qualcomm is developing two types of its upcoming Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 processor for premium smartphones. The standard version is reportedly being produced by TSMC using its new 3nm process node, while the alternative variant may be manufactured using Samsung Foundry's 2nm process. The conventional model of the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 is rumored to be named Konapeli, while the Samsung-made version is codenamed Konapeli S. The standard version has already undergone testing and is set to enter mass production soon, with an expected unveiling in September 2025. This version will likely be used by all Android smartphone manufacturers except for Samsung. The second variant is still in the testing phase and may start mass production in the first quarter of 2026. Currently, the yield for Samsung Foundry's 2nm process is reported to have just surpassed 40%, with the company aiming to achieve a 60% yield by the end of this year. The S26 series is scheduled to be announced in the first quarter of next year and may include 4 models: the Galaxy S26, the S26 Plus, the S26 Edge, and the S26 Ultra. All these devices are expected to either use the Exynos 2600 processor, developed by Samsung System Group, or the Qualcomm-made Snapdragon 8 Elite 2. Both processors are anticipated to be 2nm semiconductors produced by Samsung Foundry. Samsung allegedly suspended 1.4nm process node research to concentrate on 2nm technology. The input is generally clear, but it could benefit from improved flow and clarity. Here's a revised version. It has been reported that Samsung has halted the development of its 1.4 nanometer process node in order to focus on increasing yields for its 2 nanometer process. Once commercial production of the Exynos 2600 and Snapdragon 8 Elite 2 for Galaxy begins, the company aims to start manufacturing 2 nanometer AI chips at its factory in Taylor, Texas, in the latter half of next year. Additionally, Qualcomm is rumored to be testing a chip named Trailblazer on Samsung Foundry's 2 nanometer manufacturing node. However, this chip is not intended for smartphones. The article suggests it may be a CPU for supercomputers or a chip for automotive applications. Next, the S26 Ultra and the S26 Edge surfaced in an important database. It is death for Galaxy S26 Plus. We should see the updated model range in January next year. The S26 lineup aligns with Samsung's ambitions, although the specific models have not yet been disclosed. The S26 Ultra and the S26 Edge were previously considered speculative, and their existence had not been confirmed. However, both have now appeared in the significant GSMA-IMI database, indicating that Samsung is actively working on these devices. The GSMA-IMI database does not provide much useful information. It simply informs us that mobile phones with these names are in development, along with their model numbers. Nevertheless, it offers insight into Samsung's sales strategy. The 26 Edge has been assigned the code SMS947U, while the Galaxy S26 Ultra is listed under the codes SMS948U and SMS948N. And the letter U at the end designates the model for the American market, whereas N is for the South Korean market. This is promising news for global consumers, as Samsung is primarily targeting them. You might be wondering about the absence of the S26 Plus. It is typical for Samsung to register the higher-end models first and then follow up with the base models. However, there are rumors suggesting that the S26 Plus may be omitted next year. There is speculation that Samsung might entirely replace the ultra-thin S26 Edge due to poor sales of the S25 Edge. Based on the latest data, it is not performing well, which leaves the possibility that the S26 Plus could still be in the lineup. The manufacturer has not made any public announcements yet, and no speculative information has been released. We can anticipate that the transition from the S25 series to the S26 series will be similar to the transition from the S24 to the S25. Samsung tends to be conservative regarding design and functionality updates. The biggest advancements will likely come with the One UI 8, but it is also possible that the next series will feature the One UI 8.5, which would be more intriguing. We will just have to wait and see. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates.